On a quiet Tuesday night, Emily discovered something that destroyed her marriage forever. Not a message, not a rumor, evidence. Her husband didn't know she had seen it. He sat across from her at dinner that same night, smiling, asking about her day. But Emily had already made a decision. She would leave, not tomorrow, not next month. She would disappear from his life before he ever realized she knew the truth. And when Daniel finally understood what she had discovered, it was already too late. The morning Emily packed her suitcase, she did not cry. She ironed her clothes carefully, folded them with precision, placed them into the suitcase as if she were preparing for a short trip. As if she were coming back. She left the wardrobe door open longer than necessary. She ran her fingers along the wooden edge, memorizing its roughness. 16 years in the same house. 16 years of marriage. 16 years of telling herself, this is enough. But somewhere between enough and forever, she had disappeared. Emily used to laugh loudly. The kind of laugh that filled rooms and made strangers smile. She used to make spontaneous plans. She used to dream in bold colors. But over time, her life had become quiet. Predictable. He was simply emotionally absent. Conversations with him felt like speaking into a hallway. The words echoed, but nothing returned. At dinner, he scrolled through his phone. At night, he turned his back before she finished speaking. Daniel was admired. In church, he smiled warmly. At work, he was respected. At family gatherings, he held Emily's hand tightly, as if proud of her. People called him a good man. And Emily used to believe them. Until the first time he grabbed her wrist hard enough to leave fingerprints. It had been over something small. Dinner too late. A misplaced receipt. A tone he did not like. He apologized afterward. He always apologized. And apologies are confusing when they come wrapped in flowers. The infidelity began quietly. Late meetings, locked screens, long showers after work. Ada did not confront him immediately. She observed. She learned the pattern of his lies. The same perfume lingering on his shirts. The same number calling after midnight. The same cold detachment afterward. But Daniel's greatest weapon was not anger. It was doubt. You're imagining things. He would say, you're too sensitive. Why would I risk my family? He made her question her own sanity. And slowly, she stopped questioning him. Until that night, her husband was asleep beside her. One arm draped across her waist. Possessive, protective, convincing. If anyone had walked into that room, they would have seen a peaceful and loving couple. But Emily was staring at the ceiling, counting the seconds between his breaths. Because she had just read the message on his phone. And everything had finally become clear. His phone buzzed at 1:17 a.m. He was asleep. The name on the screen was saved as consultant. But the preview message read, I miss you already. Tonight was worth the risk. Emily did not scream. She did not cry. She memorized the evidence. Then she placed the phone back exactly where it had been. Because something inside her shifted. Not heartbreak. Strategy. 2 weeks later, Daniel hit her for the first time across the face. Not a shove, not a grip, a slap, sharp, loud, final. It happened after she asked, calmly, who is she? His expression changed instantly. Not guilt, rage. How dare you go through my phone? The argument that followed was brutal. He accused her of paranoia, of disrespect, of trying to ruin the family. By morning, he was remorseful, crying, begging, promising therapy. He knelt on the kitchen floor. And for the first time, Emily saw something terrifying. He was not afraid of losing her. He was afraid of losing control. And this became like a pattern over the next months and years. Then she began planning. It had taken her 2 years to gather the courage. 2 years of online applications. 2 years of saving money quietly. 2 years of pretending she was fine. Her children were grown. They had their own opinions about everything. They had watched her shrink slowly, but they never said it out loud. Only her youngest had once asked, Mum, were you happier before? She never answered. Quietly and methodically, she planned. She documented everything. Photographs of bruises, screenshots of messages, bank statements. She opened a separate email account. She contacted a lawyer through a friend. She applied for jobs abroad under a slightly shortened version of her name. Every step was invisible. She smiled in public. She attended church. She cooked dinner. She waited. Emily had seen an advertisement online. A hospital abroad urgently needed experienced professionals. She stared at the screen for a long time. Her first thought was, I'm too old to start again. Her second thought was quieter, what if I'm not? She closed the laptop, but the question refused to close. For months, she researched silently. She updated her CV after midnight. She practiced interview questions while washing dishes. She saved small amounts of money into a separate account. Every small action felt rebellious. Every application felt like whispering to a version of herself she thought was gone. When the interview invitation came, she almost declined. Fear disguised itself as responsibility. What about the family? What will people say? Is this selfish? But deep inside, another voice spoke. If not now, when? The job offer came faster than she expected. Relocation package included. The acceptance email arrived on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. She was alone in the living room. She read the words 3 times. We are pleased to offer you. Her heart beat loudly in her ears. Not because she was excited. Because she was terrified. Opportunity is frightening when you have been shrinking for years. She stared at the screen for a long time. She almost deleted the email. Almost, but it felt like a door opening in a burning building. The evening before her departure, the house felt unusually loud. The ticking clock, the hum of the refrigerator, footsteps upstairs. She stood in the kitchen long after midnight. Her passport lay on the table. A one-way ticket. She stared at it. This was no longer a fantasy. This was a decision. Her youngest daughter came downstairs quietly. Mum, why are you awake? Emily hesitated. I'm traveling tomorrow. For work? Yes. For how long? Emily looked at her carefully. For as long as it takes to remember who I am. Her daughter didn't fully understand. But she hugged her tightly. Children sense truth even when they cannot name it. Daniel's violence became less frequent but more threatening. He stopped shouting. Instead, he whispered, you would be nothing without me. No one would believe you. Think about what this would do to the children. He never hit her again. He did not need to. Fear had become his language. The night before she left, he kissed her forehead gently. I don't know what I would do without you, he murmured. Emily almost laughed. He had no idea. Her suitcase was already hidden in the guest room. Her documents were scanned and backed up. Her lawyer had copies. Her eldest daughter knew just enough to stay silent. The morning she left, she cooked breakfast as usual. Eggs, toast, tea. Routine is powerful camouflage. Her husband noticed the suitcase near the door. Are you going somewhere? He asked casually. Yes. For how long? She held his gaze longer than she had in years. I don't know. He laughed softly, thinking it was another short visit to her sister. He did not ask further questions. He did not sense the weight of that moment. And that, somehow, confirmed everything. She picked up her suitcase. He did not follow her to the car. He believed she would return. He always believed she would return. At the airport, reality arrived. She watched families embracing. She watched departures flashing on digital screens. For the first time, doubt whispered loudly. What if you fail? What if you come back embarrassed? Her hands trembled, but then she realized something profound. Staying had already been a slow failure of the self. Leaving was at least honest. The first months were brutal. The weather was colder than she imagined. Her accent made people ask her to repeat herself. She returned to a small apartment that echoed with silence. Loneliness is loud when you are used to constant background noise. Some nights she cried quietly, not because she regretted leaving, but because growth is uncomfortable. Then small victories began to appear. Her first independent salary deposited into an account with only her name. Her first compliment from a supervisor. Her first new friendship over coffee. She began walking differently. Daniel didn't panic the first day she didn't answer his calls. He assumed she was angry. The second day, he grew irritated. By the third day, irritation became something else. Because Emily had never ignored him before. Not once in 16 years. He drove home early that evening. The house felt wrong, too quiet. Her wardrobe was half empty. The drawer where she kept her documents was cleared out. His heartbeat began to rise. He rushed to the home office, opened his laptop, logged into the joint bank account. And that's when he saw it. Money had been moved, not stolen, not recklessly withdrawn, transferred carefully, strategically, over months, small amounts, unnoticed. His phone buzzed, an unknown number. He answered. Good evening, Mr. Daniel, a calm voice said. My name is Attorney Jones. I represent your wife. Silence swallowed the room. She has filed for divorce. Documentation regarding domestic abuse and financial misconduct has already been submitted. Daniel's knees weakened. Abuse, financial misconduct. How much did she know? The lawyer continued, there is also evidence of an offshore account. I suggest you review your transactions from the past year. The call ended. Daniel stared at the screen. Offshore account. That account was private, hidden, impossible for her to access. Unless she had been watching longer than he thought. For the first time, Daniel understood something chilling. Emily hadn't left in anger. She had left in strategy. And whatever she knew was bigger than he imagined. But here is the twist. Emily did not leave because she discovered the affair. She did not leave because of the slap. She left because she discovered something worse. Daniel had been secretly moving money into a private account, preparing to abandon the family himself. He had planned to leave first. With the other woman, he was building his escape while convincing her she had nowhere to go. Emily found the bank transfers the same night she saw the message. And in that moment, the fear disappeared. Because betrayal is easier to survive than humiliation. He thought she was weak. He thought she would beg. He thought wrong. Some women leave because they are broken. Others leave because they finally see the trap being built around them. And the most dangerous woman of all is the one who leaves before you realize she already knows everything. The story continues in the next episode.